Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to our Sunday service and our Sunday experience and our Sunday lesson. I have in front of me, and I want to share how wonderful this is, and I want to invite you to, number one, the Peace Night that's going to happen this Wednesday, and the following week we are going to begin a whole series of the month of July on this incredible book. I read this the first time when Alan Watts was still alive, and I knew Alan and studied with him, and it made an impact on me in my late 20s. To go back and read it now, it's like, this is Behold the Spirit, the study of the necessity of mystical religion, which is what we're going to do on Wednesday. And to lay a foundation for this morning based on the ideas coming out of this, which I'm preparing myself for July. You're going to hear a lot this morning, but the idea that with education, with the thinking mind coming forth and evolving out of the dark ages, we are, as Alan Watts pointed out in 1947, we are beginning to see the end of religions based on stories you have to believe, and the evolution of spirituality based on principles that are involved. Does that sound familiar? Everybody say principle. Now, Dr. Holmes pointed out that there's a lot of people who find us who would rather be entertained than healed. And there's a lot of people who find us who would rather just settle for knowing about it instead of being what they say they know. There's a lot of people, Dr. Holmes pointed out, said it's amazing how many people walk in here on Sunday morning and then walk out on Monday morning and act like they never heard anything we teach. Because they're conforming to what? They've got a head full of new ideas, but they're still conforming to what? What was instead of what can be. Our challenge over and over again is to understand, as it says in Job 22:28, thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. Now, if you want to know what you're decreeing, here it is. And it's basic to our teaching. We are what we think about all day long. Thank you, Emerson. That's an observation. How many know that you knew that before you ever walked in this room? How many know that everybody you know, you can look, see, that's the first step in realizing what we teach. You begin to see it in everybody else's life. Oh, yeah. I can certainly see what negative thinking's doing for them. And victim thinking is doing for them, and everyone say, I choose to remove neurosis from nirvana. See, you can get your neurosis out of your nirvana if you begin to understand this is nirvana. This is what we're looking for. There's no tomorrow and there's no yesterday. There's only now. What else could it be when tomorrow gets here? What's it going to be? Everybody say, now. Okay. You've heard me say that ministers, we all get it. Wish I was 20 and knew what I knew now. Wish I was 20 and knew what I know now. Okay. Of course, the answer to that is, what are you doing now, what you know now? Okay. What are you doing in the moment, what you say you know? Everyone say it. Whatever I know, I'm doing. Everything else is just theory. How many know that some of your life is you're settling for theory? Okay. You're pacifying yourself with theory. Okay. How many are willing this morning to let go of every reason why you can't do and be and have everything you've ever dreamed about? And if you get those reasons out of the way, how many are here ready to be responsible for what's going to happen? Because you see, everybody say, I don't ever get what I want, but I always get what I expect, and I never keep what I'm not going to be responsible for. Now, why is that true? Because, you see, when we set it in motion, then we need to do what? Give ourselves permission to respond accordingly. Responsibility. Everybody say responsibility. So what does that mean? It means the ability to respond. Now, what are you going to do? Respond from the way it is or the way it can be? Because nobody in your life may be able to see the way it can be. Except who? Who's the only one who needs to see it? Who's the only one who needs to be it? Who's the only one who needs to take credit for it? Okay. See? All right. Are you ready for that? I love it. Dr. Holmes says on page 204 of the Science of Mind textbook, right thought constantly poured into consciousness will eventually purify it. Now, I love Dr. Craig Carter, his wonderful book, Your Handbook to Healing. He said on page 12, you treat when you start talking to yourself and you don't stop until point by point you have made yourself realize that the kingdom of God does not include your problem. See, how many know people that their identity is in their problem? See, their identity is in is in their unhappiness, in their misery, in their broken heart, in their loneliness, in their victimization, whatever they're going through. That becomes their identity. Anybody ask you who you are, tell them you're a child of God, not what you used to think you were. How many have allowed yourself, and be honest with yourself, how many since you found this teaching have redefined yourself and the new definition is in motion and you're seeing things change for the better? Okay, you know what? Because you kept everyone's saying my problems will go away if I stop insisting on them. Now all we need to do is understand how we insist on them. How we get up every day looking forward to it. Okay. See, our challenge over and over again, Dr. Holmes points out that when people are using the Science of Mind principles, they begin to realize, they understand it, that everybody on this planet has been using Science of Mind principles since the beginning of our ability to think. We always have been. People have been using the Science of Mind principles ever since human intelligence evolved to the point of decision making. What did Dr. Barker teach us? Power of decision. He said everybody makes a decision. Even if they decide not to decide, that's a decision. Okay. Everyone say, if I don't decide for myself, I will demonstrate something to decide for me. Okay. How many wanted to do something, told the whole world you wanted to do it, but you never got around to doing it, and all of a sudden you create something that shoves you into it. Okay. Who shoves you into the doing? Now, everyone say a decision made. Whatever it is, determines my experience. So where does it start? Where does every experience you have start? Okay. What if you're in the middle of one you don't like? That you don't want, that's not healthy and happy. What should you do at that point? Keep screaming, yelling, hollering, and saying, ouch, or what? Put the brakes on. Everyone say, I don't care what caused this nonsense. I now become the cause of the answer, cause of the health, cause of the happiness, cause of the love, cause of the what? Positive right action. I am cause to it. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? Know you not that you're the temple of God? Not something outside of you. Okay. I remember when I first found religious science in my 20s, and I found Founders Church. How many have been to Founders? Anybody been to Founders Church? Founders Church is wonderful. And 6th and Brindle, round, Ernest Holmes designed it. He wanted it to look like, he loved to go to planetariums. He loved to sit back and look at the stars. Founders is all round and big, comfortable seats. He said, when you come on Sunday, you should be comfortable. Is everybody comfortable here? And whatever. So you go in there, and I found more love and more answers and more complete in my beginning of my 20s. And all of a sudden, my grandmother came out to California to visit. And I really wanted her to see my church and my new religion and everything I was involved in. So I took her to Founders. And here she was visiting from Texas. And she walked into Founders and got about halfway down the aisle and turned and ran out of the building onto the street and said, "The devil's in there. I can just feel it." I said, wait a minute. Maybe it's not the devil. Maybe it's what? So what was she feeling? What was in there or what she thought was in there? Okay. What was she doing? Feeling what she was really there, or what somebody told her who was there, that was there? Okay. So what do we need to do is we're going to find what? If we're going to think about what we think about and do something with it, we need to understand that whatever we're feeling is not in the place we're in, it's in the person who's in the place. And who's there? Everyone say, wherever I am, I'm there. If I'm irritated, unhappy, confused, I can do something about it. Now, you can't do anything about the people, places, and things around you, but you can do something about what? Yourself. I love what Alan Watts points out. Everybody get your handout this morning? Say with me the first paragraph of the handout, I live in God's love. There is one life. That life is God. That life is my life now. The one God is love, and I am as that love is. Absolute truth is always available to me. Aware of the love that made everything and everyone out of itself, I willingly and joyfully give this love to others. See, you're giving it to others. For whose sake?